robustness. So how it behaves in presence of perturbations, what is the settling time, what is the steady state error, all those things you have to analyze. So that is analysis of performance and robustness. So what are the measures we will be using for analysis of performance and robustness of a feedback system? So that we will be discussing in this topic. And for under that, so I'll be first I'll be discussing this one, that is control system design objective, and then then gain margin, phase margin. As you know, they are classical measures of robustness that we'll be discussing. So all I hope gain margin, phase margin has already been discussed, but still whatever portion is needed, I'll be discussing. And then these are the two important things: sensitivity function and complementary sensitivity function. So sensitivity function and complementary sensitivity function uh, uh, will play. Acha, yeah, TAs. I request one of the TA to please record it. Okay. Hello. Just wait. I'll record the lecture. Otherwise, it is problematic. Okay, so it is being recorded. Start recording. No. Okay. So it is being recorded. So then it is not the problem. So sensitivity and complementary sensitivity function. So sensitivity and complementary sensitivity function will play an important role in your feedback design. So how to analyze stability, how to analyze robustness and performance using sensitivity and complementary sensitivity function, that will be study, and we'll see that gain margin, phase margin are not sufficient to study robustness of a system. And then what is the relation between sensitivity, gain margin, phase margin also we will be studying. After that, what will be the loop behavior so as to have a good design? What will be the loop characteristics for that a good control system should have? That we'll be discussing. Loop characteristic means loop transfer function, GSHS. And then we'll be discussing what should be the typical plot of a desired sensitivity and complementary sensitivity functions. And then we'll be discussing some compensation method. So lead, lag, and lag lead controller design. In frequency domain, of course, this all these designs will be carried out in frequency domain method. So Bode plot, those designs will be carried out using Bode plot. And then pole placement based design. So this is time domain method that I should write. Pole placement based controller design method. So this is time domain method. And this lag lead controller design, I will be considering frequency domain method. Those can be designed using time domain method as well. So those things I will not be discussing. Then PI, PID, and PI, PID controller design. So these controllers also will be designing using pole placement method. Some standard tuning rules such as Ziegler-Nichols rules. And then sample data control system or digital control system we will be discussing. So what is the overview? So nowadays, as you know, most of I should not say most, all the control systems, all the feedback controllers are designed, are implemented using an embedded processor. So so what are the basic components when they are those implemented using a processor? So those things I will be discussing. That is overview of computer control system, and then jet transform of sample, because whenever you are implementing a controller, all the signals are discrete time signal or sample data signal. So all that at that time those Laplace transformation will not work. So at the time jet transformation you have to use for studying and analyzing performance of the system. So stability, robustness, all the things we have to see in terms of a discrete time system. All the things will be in jet domain. So then sampling theorem, we will be considering sampling theorem. So sampling theorem plays an important role in digital control system, and what is the aliasing effect and their remedy. Okay, and then I will be discussing some controller design via digital redesign or direct design methods. So these are the topics I will discuss in this part. Many things I have squeezed because we will have a less number of classes. So for the first portion, that means analysis of performance and robustness, I will be taking around say 4 class. Okay, and for, so I should write in a different ink. Well, 4 class. So I will be taking 4 class for this analysis and for analysis of performance and robustness, and then for this one, mm, for this portion, just wait. For compensation method, I need 7 to 8 classes, and for this one, it is better if I get 4 classes. So total 16 classes are needed. So I hopefully I will be getting and some Saturdays, that is some additional slot is there. Two Saturday I will take that additional slot. I think if I use those additional slots on 2 Saturdays, then I will be able to cover the course, complete the course. Then and the books that I will follow are this one. These are the standard book. I think for part one also you have started. You have followed these books. Modern Control Engineering by Dodd Bishop. That is so. Just for your information, I have written. So this book is very good for the modeling chapter. Okay. Modeling you have already studied, and then Modern Control Engineering, Ogata. So in Dodd Bishop book there are very practical systems, as they are considered very many practical systems as examples, and then will be then the another book is there, that is Ogata, Modern Control Engineering. This is a general book you can follow. That is also everyone follows this book, and then automatic control system. This is also general, Kuo, BC Kuo, and then automatic. So this book I will be following. So automatic control systems by Ulovich, W.A. Ulovich. So this book is very good book for design and analysis. So automatic control system, Ulovich. This book and feedback control design by N.K. Sinha. So this book is very good in frequency domain design, lag lead controller. So for lag lead controller design, I will be following this book, feedback control system by N.K. Sinha. So I will not follow other book because those books design is little bit iterative, but here direct design method is there, and also means this design is analytical. Some equations you have to solve. This is very good in this book is very good for frequency driven design. This book I will follow for compensation using lag lead and lag lead controller. And then this book, Norman Nice is also very good, but this book is very good for root locus based design. So root locus based design for the timing, I will not consider. But if I can manage, I can give you a couple of videos. So that those who are interested, they can say. Although this root locus based design is also not there in the syllabus, in fact. But in the last year, I taught this portion as well. But I don't know, in this year I will not be able to, I think, teach. But some slides I may give at the end, so that those who are interested, they may study this thing. Okay, so these are the overall topics that I follow. So let us start from the beginning. That means control system design objective. So control system control system design objectives. Now the question is, why we design controllers? Why controllers are needed? It is objective. So as you know, so this is the, so I am just writing in broader.
Sir, some
CS is the plan transfer function, or
excuse
PS
me,
is
sir.
the controller. That kind of things I am not writing. So this is your plant. This is your controller. Okay. So here disturbance, and this is your sensor. So this is measurement noise. This is your reference. So this is your controller output. You. Okay. So
Hello.
this is the
Uh,
basic block diagram of a control system. So basic, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, something is happening. Your screen is constantly going away, and sir, also someone is unmuting us. Sorry, muting us.
Sir, someone is also removing us from time to time. So could you make all of us as attendees?
Sir, you are muted right now.
So hello, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So
Sir,
is it visible
someone,
also?
sir,
Yes. Yes. Please.
sir,
Sir,
someone is
go to
constantly
the teams
muting
and
me.
please make everybody attendees.
Yes, and he's removing from the meeting also.
This is unmuting. Automatically it is getting unmuted, right? Muted.
Sir, you will have to make everyone as attendees. Right now, everyone has been given the access of presenter. So you have to go.
I have to go to where?
So click the Teams option and then in the right three. Sir, the Teams option there.
The icon which is to the left of hang up button. Sir, we can't hear you. You are muted.
No, why it is automatically getting muted?
Sir, some
So
stupid
someone
fellow
is
is doing
delivering.
something.
What?
Somebody is muting, sir.
Why it is getting continuously muted?
Click the option right next to.
Next to?
The red button, right next to the red button.
More
Sir,
action,
right
more
next,
action you have to
sir,
go.
sir, right next to the red button over there. Sir, on the left.
On the left, right next to, but right next to red button, that is video is there, no?
No, sir, left on right on right.
Right. So participants. So participants. That one. But
Yes, sir.
participants, participants then.
Sir, click the three dots which are there on the top.
Top. So manage permission. So allow attendee. Attendee.
Manage permissions. Manage permissions.
So you have been muted again.
Then manage permission. Then.
Save.
Sir, you are muted.
Yeah, but who is but why it is automatically getting muted?
Sir, someone is
Sir,
muting.
someone is deliberately doing.
Someone is deliberately muting.
Yes, sir, because you have made
Yes,
everyone.
sir. Everyone has the authority to mute everyone, any other person.
So no. So to deactivate that, what we can do? So
Make everyone attendees, sir. From presenters, we have to make everyone attendees.
From presenters.
Sir, go back to meeting option.
Make everyone attending. Just wait.
Sir, I think you have to change who can present to no one.
What?
So there was a
What?
drop down list which asks you for who can present.
No, in the left. Where will I get that icon?
Sir, go to the
Sir,
Manage permission.
Go to
the previous window.
Meeting options, sir. Meeting options.
so manage permission. Manage permission. You are saying.
sir, the
Yes,
tab
sir.
in the right.
You have got the tabs opened, right? On your third tab. Open your
Yeah.
third tab and there.
Open your third tab. More action.
Sir, the meeting option.
The
Go
browser.
to tab on the browser.
Sir, if managing permissions is an issue, can you just send recorded lectures like Professor Saurabh?
Sir, the tab that is opened in your browser, meeting options.
Sir, in that, the second last option, who can present? Make it to everyone. Make it to no one.
So can you send us recorded lectures like Professor
sir,
Saurabh
only me,
Patra
yes,
used
sir.
to
Now
Sir,
send us?
please save. Sir,
Yes,
please
sir,
save.
send
Save.
recorded
Managing
lectures.
permissions.
Save it, sir.
Sir, save.
Sir, you are muted.
Sir, click on the save button, sir. After doing that, click on
Sir,
the
who
save.
can
Announce some color. Always let call
Sir,
by
who
first.
can present? Change who can present to only me and then save it.
Only me. Save it. Yeah. So now I think it is possible, right? Okay. So now can you hear me? Hello? Can you see the screen? Hello? So can you see the screen, please? Hello? Can you say anyone whether you can see the screen or not? Yeah, okay, fine. So this is basic feedback control system diagram. System diagram. Okay. So now what is the objective? So D is your disturbance. So this is process disturbance. So eta is your measurement noise. Measurement noise. Okay. So now what is the objective? So now objectives. So one is nominal stability. That is called NS. Then robust stability. RS. Then nominal performance, NP, and then robust performance. This is RP. Okay, so all these objectives you have to meet. So what are these objectives that I'll say, I'll discuss in detail. So all these things you have to meet subject to U, mod of U less than U max. That means actuator saturation, some constant, actuator constant. This U is the controller output. So controller output magnitude constant is there. So this is the controller output magnitude constant. Okay. So now, so nominal stability, you know, for nominal stability, what is the condition? So all the closed loop poles, should be in the left half plane. Okay. And what is robust stability? Robust stability is the system should be stable. The closed loop system should be stable even in presence of uncertainties in the parameters, in the system parameters, and neglected dynamics during modeling. So this is robustness. That means, so when you are designing a controller, so system parameters may not be exactly known. There may be some perturbations. Similarly, when you are modeling a system, some transfer functions you have got, suppose, but when you will obtain the transfer functions, you may neglect some higher order dynamics for simplicity, or due to some linearization, some approximation you may do. But in actual system, all those things will be there. So the system, the controller should be designed such that the closed loop system should remain stable even in presence of all those parameter variations, parameter uncertainties, and those neglected dynamics during modeling. Okay. So this is about robust stability. So robust stability means capacity to tolerate uncertainty. So all these things this robust stability I will discuss in more detail. So then nominal performance. So nominal performance. So the nominal performance, this one, that means nominal performance. Nominal performance means system should satisfy some specifications such as settling time, peak overshoot, then steady state error, etc. So all these things you should your system should satisfy. And then robust performance. Robust performance, nominal. So system should ensure desired performance even in presence of what's called even in presence of uncertainties in the system. So that is your nominal performance. Second, so even if uncertainties is there, even if parameter variations is there, so system robust performance means its settling time should be around 10 seconds only. So that system nominal performance should not deviate much, even if your uncertainties are there. Okay, so that is your so as you know, this disturbance and noise. This is your measure process disturbance, and process disturbance occur. For example, in case of speed control system, what is your process disturbance? Speed control system disturbance is noise. Suppose disturbance. So I should say process disturbance. Sorry. This is what is disturbance? Disturbance. So this is I should say process disturbance. Process disturbance. For example, load torque in speed control. That is a process disturbance. Say wind gust in missile feedback on missile system. Similarly, the difference between ambient temperature and room temperature. Temperature in room temperature control system. In a room temperature control system. So these are examples of process disturbance. So these are all are low frequency signal. Low frequency signal compared to the system bandwidth. Okay, and then noise. So what is noise? So noise eta. So noise, it is a measurement noise. Noise means we are saying measurement. Process noise. So this is measurement signal. High frequency signal compared to the system bandwidth. So that is the difference between disturbance and noise. So disturbance are low frequency signal compared to the system bandwidth, and noise is a high frequency signal. This is sensor noise, measurement noise, high frequency signal compared to the system bandwidth. Okay, so this is about measure. So this is a feedback. As I am repeating. So this is your feedback, standard feedback control system. So this controller I have deliberately drawn in this way, so that it is a more general structure of controller. It will be a 2 degree of freedom. It can be a 1 degree of freedom. So what is 2 degree of freedom controller? That is not known to you. So that I will be slowly saying. So that's why I have drawn in a general form. So these are the objectives: nominal stability, robust stability, nominal performance, robust performance, and all these objectives we have to meet even in presence of constants in the actuator, constant subject to constant on the controller output. Constant, because controller output you cannot change. Controller output cannot have very high magnitude, then actuator saturation will happen. Similarly, actuator rate constant also will be there on you. So there are so many constants are there in a control design. But in spite of those constants, you have to meet this objective: nominal stability, robust stability, nominal performance, robust performance. So what is your nominal stability? That I said, that is all the poles should be in the left half plane. Robust stability means capacity to tolerate uncertainties. That means system systems would remain stable even in presence of uncertainties in the system parameters. And the nominal performance, so these are the characteristics. So nominal performance, this all these things would be desired, that means desired settling time, peak overshoot, steady state error, all these things. And then robust performance, your some performance would be ensured even in presence of variations in the system parameters or uncertainties in the system. So and as you know, disturbance and noise are inevitable. So the system should have. So another thing, so the another performance is disturbance and noise rejection, that I should say disturbance and noise rejection. So noise attenuation. So attenuation. So disturbance and noise, those are all exogenous signal. So like your robust performance, nominal performance. So another thing is disturbance and noise rejection. So disturbance and noise should be attenuated in the loop. So disturbance and noise should not affect the system parameter, the system behavior much. They should be attenuated. While in the loop. Okay, so these are the overview of controller control system design objective. Now we'll say, so I will not discuss nominal stability, because nominal stability already you have studied. That is, a closed loop pole should be nominal stability. Whether a system is nominally stable or not, you can check just the closed loop pole locations. You check whether if they are in LHP, then it is nominally stable. Now robust stability. So I will be concentrating more on robust stability and performance and disturbance noise rejection. So robust stability. So first, robust stability. So what is robust stability? Robust stability means, as I said, capacity to tolerate uncertainties in the system. So what are the uncertainties? Uncertainties, as I said, uncertainties. What are the uncertainties? Uncertainties can be, one, parametric uncertainties. And two, it can be uncertainties due to neglected neglected dynamics. Okay, neglected dynamics or unmodeled dynamics, or unmodeled dynamics. So as I already said, the parametric uncertainties occur because the exact parameter values are not known. You are assuming that the pole location lie at s equal to -1, but it can be s equal to -1.2 or maybe -0.8. So that you don't know. Similarly, neglected dynamics. Suppose you are assuming that your neglected dynamics means, for example, here I am saying, suppose GS actual transfer function is like this: 1 over s plus 1 into s plus 10. 10 over s plus 1 into s. So that you can approximately, based on dominant pole concept, you can approximate like this. This is equal to s plus 1. So that means what you are doing here, here s equal to -10 pole is neglected. Okay, so that is your neglected dynamics. So this means that is your neglected dynamics. So okay, so in this way, so the more things, more details things we will discuss slowly. But what are the robustness measures that are used for a feedback system? Now the robustness measures. What are the robustness measure we'll be using? So robustness measures. Robustness measures that we are using. So this is gain margin, phase margin. These are classical measures. Second is norms of infinity norm of sensitivity and complementary sensitivity function. Sensitivity functions. So now the question is why we'll go for this sensitivity and complementary sensitivity function. Now what are those? Okay, but why we'll go? So gain margin, phase margin, these are the classical measures, and infinity now this I should say modern little bit. Okay, these are classical. This is modern. Infinity norm of what is infinity norm? That also I will come slowly. So now, what is gain margin, phase margin? Although you have discussed this, Professor Patra has discussed, I hope. But for my convenience, I'll review a little bit. So what is gain margin? Gain margin. So gain margin, it is a factor. It is a factor by which the loop gain can be increased. In bracket I should write decreased because it can be decreased as well. Can be increased or decreased till the system remains stable. That is called gain margin. That means physically what will you do? You have a plant, suppose GS, you have a controller, that is CS, so this is your loop. I do not, so when you will study robustness, gain margin, phase margin, I do not bother about reference input, output and all this thing. So what is gain margin? Suppose I have added a loop gain. Suppose I have added a loop gain block. Say, so what I will do? So I am writing. So I will add a loop gain k. So k equal to 1 under nominal condition. So there is no loop gain variation. Suppose, so now what will you do? You will be increasing k. You will be increasing k. One thing you can do, you can increase k or you can decrease k. Okay, this k you can increase or you can decrease. So suppose k is 1 under nominal condition. Suppose k lies between k mean less than k max. Suppose you have checked that, suppose nominal gain is 1, if you increase to k max, then it will become unstable. Again, when it will decrease to k min, it will become unstable. So what is your gain margin? So then we will say positive gain margin, I'll define in this way. So increased side gain margin, increased side GM is K max, and decreased side GM. So these things you will not get in book. I'm telling you. So decreased side gain margin is K min. So in standard textbooks you will not get, because your nominal gain is 1. So so I have defined like this: the factor by which the loop gain can be increased or decreased. So what is the factor by which gain can be increased now? The factor is K max. What is the factor by the gain can be decreased? That is K min. So that is increased side gain margin is K max, decreased side gain margin is K min. Okay, so that is your gain margin. So now similarly phase margin also will be there. So phase margin is what? So phase margin, so this is very important. Loop gain, this is why loop gain, this term is very important. I am saying this term, this loop gain, this is very important term. Otherwise gain margin definition is not complete. Similarly phase margin. So phase margin, the amount of negative bracket or positive, of negative or positive phase that can be introduced in the loop the system remains stable is called phase margin. Is called phase margin. Okay. So phase margin, for example, as you know, so if it is a your, suppose phase margin, gain margin can also be represented in terms of Nyquist plot. Suppose this is so phase margin, gain margin, when we will say always in terms of loop. So loop is what? LS equal to phase margin, gain margin is loop gain margin, loop phase margin. Okay, so GS into CS, because KS is nominal, the nominal loop transfer function. This is your nominal loop transfer function. GS is your plant and CS is your controller. So that is nominal loop transfer function. So this is your L j omega, and this is your imaginary j omega. Sorry, L j omega. Nyquist plot of loop transfer function I am drawing. So suppose this is your typical Nyquist plot. So this is your -1 point. Okay, and what is so suppose I'll draw a unit circle. My drawing may not be perfect. Okay, so what is your phase margin for this figure? So I should write this is omega equal to 0, this is omega equal to infinity. So suppose this is your what? This is your this is Okay, so this is your omega Cp, and this is your omega Cg, and this is your phase phi. So what is phi? Phi is now phase margin. And what is your gain margin? This distance is 1 by gain margin. So suppose this distance is, I should write, suppose this distance is d. Sorry. Suppose this distance is d. Then gain margin is what? 1 by d. So here what is this? This is the factor by which, if you can this is a factor by which the gain can be multiplied so that this Nyquist plot will touch -1 point. So this is positive side gain margin. So negative side gain margin is -infinity. So this is positive side GM, or increased side, you can say. Positive side or increased side GM. Okay, and this is positive side gain margin, and this is phase margin, or positive side or increased side. Okay, so this is about, I think this gain margin, phase margin has been taught in detail by Professor Saurabh Patra. And just one thing I want to say, that means regarding that negative side gain margin. So that is just some example of examples of gain margin is very important. Positive side, negative side. That few things I'll just try to say. Suppose your transfer function is your loop is like this: 1 by s plus 1 whole cube, and this is your loop. Okay, so what is your LS now? LS is 1 over s plus 1 whole cube. Okay, so if you draw a the root locus. So what is the root locus of LS? So root locus of LS. So root locus can be used to determine gain margin, gain margin well. Just I will tell you how to use it. I think Professor Patra told you. I do not know. So this is your sigma. This is j omega. So what will the root locus of this system? All three poles will lie at -1. So one root will go in this direction. Another two root will go asymptotically like this. So all will make this angle is how much? 60 degree, and this magnitude will be √3. This is also √3. Because this is 60 degree, this is 120 degree, this is 120 degree, this is also 60 degree. Okay, so this root locus will start, so it will here k equal to 0 and here k equal to infinity. Similarly so here k equal to infinity, here also k equal to infinity. So now you can see, so at what point it will cross the value of k for which it crosses. You can easily determine the value of k at which it crosses imaginary axis. So the value of k. So this will be just the value of k at which it crosses the root locus branches cross imaginary. So I should write j omega axis is what? K equal to 1 by mod L j omega. Ls I should write, not j omega. S equal to j root 3, because this value is minus j root 3 and this is plus j root 3. Okay, so the gain margin is what? So this is equal to, you can easily compute, it will be 8. So that means your nominal k is 1. Nominal k, that means here if you write nominal k, so here means nominal k means nominal k, so there was no gain, nominal k equal to 1. So what is the factor by which you can multiply so that the system remains stable now? So the factor is k equal to 8. So what is gain margin then? Gain margin equal to 8. Okay, so similarly, suppose this is your positive side gain margin, this is your increased side gain margin. So can you say what is decreased side gain margin here? Is there exist any gain k for which the system will remain become unstable if you reduce the gain k? So because here you see the system is already stable, open loop system is stable. So whatever gain you will reduce it does not matter. So the decreased side gain margin is how much? Decreased side gain margin minus infinity. So arbitrary small you can make. So arbitrary small you can make. So it does not matter. That means the factor, that means increase side, decrease side gain margin is 1 by 0 minus 1 by 0. So it does not matter so that's why it is infinity. Whatever reduction you will make, it does not matter. So now for example this plant, just that this plant we will consider that, then we'll leave for so suppose this example 2, this is suppose example 1, was another example I will take, just simple thing. Example 2, suppose this is your plant, 2 by s minus 1. Okay, so now what is, can you say, so if you draw a root locus, just what will be the root locus? So ls equal to what? 2 by s minus 1. So this is sigma, this is j omega. So I think there also I have marked sigma j omega. Okay, sigma j omega, and then what will happen? So this is your 1 point, s equal to 1. So here, so what will be a root locus? Root locus will be like this. So here k equal to 0. So can you say here what will be the k? So here k will be equal to, what is the value of k there? So here k equal to 0, here k equal to infinity. So some minimum gain is required to make this system stable. So here k equal to 2. Here k equal to 2. So what is the minimum gain? That means now the nominal gain is 1. So nominal k is equal to 1. So what is the factor by which you can reduce so that suppose so here you can say k equal to nominal gain, suppose k equal to 1. So but here what is the gain? No, so I think here what is the gain? Gain will be k equal to 2 or k equal to 0.5. s minus 1 plus 2k. So k equal to 0.5, sorry. So here k equal to 0.5. Here k equal to 0.5. So you can see that what is the minimum value of k that is needed for closed loop stability here, 0.5, and the nominal gain is 1. So how much reduction you can do? So k nominal gain is 1 and you can reduce up to 0.5. So decreased side gain margin is then what? Decreased side GM equal to you can multiply so that it will become unstable, 0.5. This is equal to minus 6 dB. What is the increased side gain margin? Increased side gain margin infinity. How much? Whatever gain you can increase, it does not matter. So increased side gain margin will be infinity. Okay. So this is so up to so today I will wind up. So next class I will continue. Okay. So I think we'll thank you very much today. So tomorrow at the same time, tomorrow again I will take class as per timetable. So actually I like to take class live. Okay, so I do not like recording and all these things. Okay, so tomorrow again I will send you the link for the class. Thank you very much.